Angola Bilateral Joint Economic Commission after 24 years at a three-day fifth meeting of both governments on Thursday in Luanda. Both nations reached agreements on the development of sister cities and bilateral cooperation. According to a statement by Daniel Alabra, Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doye Diri, Nigeria also facilitated a landmark twinning agreement on socio, economic and cultural development between Bayelsa State and Namibe, a province of Angola, and midwifed another economic cooperation deal between Nasarawa State and Angolan province of Bengal. Nigeria and Angola, two of Africa's largest oil-producing nations, have long shared historical, political and economic ties dating back to Angola's independence in 1975. Away from that, the federal government has announced the implementation of the 2025 national budget. It will commence by the end of September as the execution of the 2024 budget winds down. The disclosure, which was made by the Director General, DG of the Budget Office of the Federation, Tanimu Yakubu, at the third quarter Ministerial Stakeholders and Citizens Engagement Forum, right in Abuja, noted that the 54.99 trillion naira 2025 budget is designed to stimulate economic growth, enhance public services, and drive investments in key sectors, stressing that effective implementation and prudent fiscal management will be critical to its success. He also emphasized that the importance of citizen involvement, describing Nigerians as the ultimate owners of public resources. He listed initiatives such as translating budget documents into local languages, simplifying budget content, and empowering communities to hold government accountable. The DG outlined strategies to support Nigeria's ambition of becoming a $1 trillion economy by 2030, including ward-based development programs, around 8,809 wards, tax reforms, stronger fiscal discipline, and innovation partnerships. In the meantime, the federal government has inaugurated the governing councils and principal officers of 4 newly established federal universities. The Education Minister Tunji Alausa, who inaugurated the governing councils, reaffirmed the commitment of the government to expanding access to quality higher education. The universities are the Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, Okeho, Oyo State, and Federal University of Health Sciences and Technology, SAFE, Zamfara State, amongst others. Alausa described the establishment of the universities as a strategic intervention by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's led administration. The minister explained that the move was aimed at addressing pressing national challenges such as food security, public health, climate change, renewable energy, and technological innovation. In another development, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents Kogi Central, has warned that she will take legal action against the clerk to the National Assembly, Kamorudin Ogunlana, if she is not allowed to resume her legislative duties by Monday, September 15, 2025. The warning was contained in a letter dated September 10th and signed by her lawyer, Michael Numa, SAN. Numa said the CNA's alleged refusal to obey an existing court judgment was against the law and the Code of Conduct for Public Officers. He added that the proposed legal steps could include contempt charges, disciplinary action, and holding the CNA responsible for instigating a breach of the peace. This development follows an earlier letter from the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Yahaya Danzaria, which informed Akpoti-Uduaghan that she could not resume because of the matter of her suspension was still before the court. In a separate development, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has tracked at least 1,440 government-funded projects across northern Nigeria, worth more than 271 billion naira as part of its constituency and executive project tracking initiative. The ICPC chairman, Musa Aliyu SAN, who made this known at a press briefing in Kano, revealed that 767 of the projects were located in the northwest, amounting to 112 billion naira, while 673 projects in the northeast accounted for a higher value of 158 billion naira. The anti-graft agency further disclosed that 7.26 billion naira in cash was recovered from the northwest, along with $1.06 million in foreign currency. It noted that in the northeast, 43.33 million naira was retrieved. Additionally, 14 buildings, 25 plots of land, and 3 farmlands were seized in the northwest during this operation. And back here, the British Deputy High Commissioner, Lagos, Johnny Baxter, has applauded the Akwa Ibom State Governor, Pastor Umar Eno, for his remarkable, visionary and impactful leadership as anchored by the Arise agenda. Speaking during a courtesy visit on Governor Eno at the Government House, Uyo, Baxter said he was really impressed by the friendly ambience of the state, adding that infrastructure, especially road network, were pointers to quality leadership. He particularly expressed satisfaction with the exceptional service delivery by the state-owned airline Ibom Air and described it as one of the best airlines in this part of the world. He further said that Ibom Air was a major avenue to boost the rich tourism and hospitality potentials of the state, adding that the state also has a huge potential in agriculture, given its green and lush environment. Meanwhile, receiving Baxter and his team, Governor Eno commended the delegation, acknowledging Nigeria's age-long historical relationship with the United Kingdom and its diverse humanitarian programs. He disclosed that the state government had in recent past sponsored students from the state for strategic educational tour to the United Kingdom to enrich their knowledge and expose them to a different learning environment. According to Governor Eno, the idea was to make them see the limitless possibilities in life, to underscore the fact that places of their birth cannot limit them if they are focused on learning and are disciplined enough. The governor revealed that the state is developing its economic zones, including the Liberty Oil and Gas Free Trade Zones, Ibom Industrial City, and Itam Industrial Park in Uyo. Governor Eno further highlighted projects planned to be kick-started by the state to include the Tree Crop Revolution, Ikotekpene International Market and Rural Electrification Project, amongst others. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that Baxter, who was impressed by the governor's achievement within 2 years as captured by a brief documentary presentation, therefore took a tour of some facilities of the state government, especially the Arise Resort, and expressed satisfaction with the project transformed from a 70-hectare erosion ravine disaster. And in the meantime, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Umar Eno has expressed delight over the exploits of Akwa Ibom State indigents in their different fields of endeavor across the world. Governor Eno registered his delight while interacting with Government House correspondents at the Victor Atta International Airport upon his return from the United Kingdom, where he met with the British-based boxer of Akwa Ibom heritage, Moses Utauma, and the mayor of Islington, Jason Ututofon. Governor Eno stated that in the course of his trip, he met with 2 illustrious sons of the state and expressed the good wishes of Akwa Ibom people on their spectacular exploits. He described them as role models whose successes are worthy of emulation by other Akwa Ibom youths. The governor encouraged the youths to imbibe the true Akwa Ibom spirit and to desist from harboring a sense of entitlement, but to uphold the virtue of hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and commitment in their pursuit of excellence. Meanwhile, the governor also explained that the Memorandum of Understanding MOU he earlier signed with the Rural Electrification Agency regarding the state's rural electrification project would guarantee 24-hour power supply in the state. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that Governor Ino, who signed the MOU during the Rural Electrification Roundtable organized by REAR, which he attended in FCT Abuja shortly after his arrival from the UK, added that the State Electricity Power Summit scheduled for September 18th and 19th will be held in collaboration with the REA, and it would bring power to the underserved communities which are not linked to the national grid. And moving now to Africa, where Burkina Faso has announced it is removing visa fees for all African travelers to boost the movement of people and goods. SANA clarified that visitors must still submit an online visa application for approval. The West African nation joins Ghana, Rwanda and Kenya in easing entry for African visitors or citizens of West African countries already enjoying visa-free travel to Burkina Faso, though this could change as the country recently withdrew from the regional bloc ECOWAS across with Mali and Niger. A statement from the junta's information service said that the measure reflects Burkina Faso's commitment to Pan-Africanism and will help promote tourism and Burkinabe culture and improve Burkina Faso's visibility abroad. Captain Traoré, who came to power in a 2022 coup, has positioned himself as a Pan-Africanist and a figure, but faces criticism over his authoritarian rule and failure to stem a worsening Islamist insurgency. On the foreign scene, the United Arab Emirates said it summoned Israel's deputy ambassador today in a formal rebuke of his country's deadly attack against Hamas leaders in the Gulf of neighbor Qatar. The UAE, along with Bahrain, was the first Gulf country to normalize ties with Israel in 2020 and has been a frequent critic of its actions since the start of the Gaza war. It issued sharp condemnations of Tuesday's deadly strike on Qatar. Friday's rare summoning was the strongest in a chorus of condemnations as anger boils in the Gulf over Israel's strike on a region long shielded from Middle Eastern conflicts. And still on the foreign scene, Brazil's Supreme Court has sentenced firebrand ex-President Jair Bolsonaro to 27 years in prison for coup plotting at the end of a landmark trial that divided the nation and drew us fury. The sentence could see the 70-year-old right leader spend the rest of his days in jail. Judges voted 4-1 to convict Bolsonaro of plotting to overthrow Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva following his October 2022 election defeat by the left-winger. Prosecutors said that the plan failed only due to a lack of support from military top brass. Bolsonaro's defense team called the sentence incredibly excessive and announced he would appeal, including at the international level. Washington was quick to respond to the conviction of the man dubbed the Trump of the tropics. On his election in 2019, the Secretary of State Marco Rubio said that the United States will respond accordingly to what he called a politically motivated witch hunt. Brazil's foreign minister hit back, saying it will not be intimidated by Rubio's threats. And still to come in the news. Maresca gives injury updates ahead of Brentford versus Chelsea. Stay tuned for details of this in a moment. Welcome back to Spectrum News at 4 and many thanks for staying with us. On our business news, barely 48 hours after the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers (NUPENG) suspended its strike action, the union has alleged that the management of the Dangote refinery had reneged on the resolutions reached. In a statement jointly signed by its President and General Secretary, Williams Akureha, and their Afolabi Olawale, respectively. Nupeng warned that it might resume the suspended industrial action following a breach of the agreement reached between Dangote Refinery, the federal government, and all truck drivers who were members of Nupeng Ptd. The union claimed that at a meeting convened by the Department of State Services and attended by the Minister of Finance, Wale Edu, and representatives of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, the management of Dangote Refinery and Petrochemicals agreed to the unionization of its employees. It further stated that, notwithstanding the resolution reached and signed at the office of the DSS with 3 on the right of unionization of workers, truck drivers who were Nupeng Ptd members for several years were ordered to remove the union stickers from their trucks yesterday. Meanwhile, the Dangote Refinery will start the free fuel distribution scheme on Monday. The Dangote Group spokesman Anthony Chiagina said in a statement that the scheme would start with the Southwest, the Federal Capital Territory Abuja, Kwara, Delta, Rivers and Edo states. He added that the refinery has also dropped petrol retail prices to 841 naira per litre in Lagos and the Southwest, 851 naira per litre in Abuja, Kwara, Rivers and Delta states. Recall that the free fuel distribution scheme was supposed to start in August but was delayed due to logistics challenges in China. In health, the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has commenced a 5-day warning strike today following the expiration of its fresh ultimatum to the federal government over unpaid allowances, salary arrears, and unresolved welfare issues. The association announced the federal industrial action after what it described as government's inaction on long-standing demands. In a message titled Declaration of Strike Action today by NARD Secretary General Dr. Oluwashola Odubaku, the association confirmed the commencement of the strike. He said all center leadership is expected to guide their members accordingly. And still in health, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has urged residents to take ownership of malaria prevention by eliminating mosquito breeding sites, testing before treatment, and trusting the health system. Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to reducing malaria prevalence below 1% as the state intensifies efforts to achieve full malaria elimination. Speaking at the midterm review of the meeting and the impact project on the pathway to malaria pre-elimination and digitalization program, the governor stressed the importance of accountability, data transparency and community ownership in the ongoing campaign. He noted that community participation alongside collaboration between the government and the private sector would ensure that malaria ceases to be a major public health problem in Lagos State. And now to sports where Tolu Arokodare has started training with Premier League club Wolverhampton Wanderers. The Nigerian international completed his move from Malinux from Belgian Pro League outfit KRC Genk. Arokodare's debut was however delayed by the international break. The 24-year-old shone from Nigeria, scoring the winning goal in the home clash with Amavubi of Rwanda after coming on as a substitute early in the second half. The striker also put up an impressive performance against South Africa on Tuesday following another substitute appearance. Arokodare will be looking forward to making his debut when Wolves travel to Newcastle United on Saturday. And still in sports, Chelsea's manager Enzo Maresca has revealed that Cole Palmer has not returned to full training ahead of the game against Brentford. Palmer limped off during the pre-match warm-up ahead of the 5-1 win against West Ham and was sidelined for the 2-0 victory against Fulham before the international break. When asked for an update on the player, Maresca said Cole took part in the session yesterday for the first time. Maresca also confirmed striker Liam Delap will be ruled out of action for up to 12 weeks after picking up a hamstring injury against Fulham, while new signing Alejandro Garnacho is not fully fit after joining from Manchester United. On our entertainment news, fans, well-wishers, media crews and food vendors have gathered at the Eko Hotels and Suites in Lagos State for Nigerian chef Hilda Bassi's bid to set a Guinness World Record for the largest pot of jollof rice. A crowd was waiting for entry into the venue before 8:30 a.m. and fans were granted entry into the venue at 9:20 a.m. According to reports, as at 1:30 p.m., the cooking had not started. Bassi had earlier stated that over 20,000 people registered to attend the event, adds by the chefs who wanted to cook 250 bags of rice in a massive 22,619-litre pot. The atmosphere was festive as food vendors had already set up their stalls, offered popular Nigerian delicacies, snacks and drinks from different ethnic groups. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 4. I am Rita Inum. Enjoy the rest of your day.